Great. So, yeah, thank you for the invitation to introduce Care Connect today. It's called Community Care Connect for short. For the sake of full disclosure, I should start by saying that I'm one of the least likely people to be leading a community tech project, because I'm one of the least techie people I know, and I think that's probably why I might have been invited, for anyone who might be tech hesitant on this call. So in describing our approach, I'm hoping in part to show how a non-techie person can lead on such a project by bringing in expertise and harnessing collaborative approaches such as co-design. So what are we doing and why? A brief bit of background. Community Care Connect grew out of my local community's experience of living in, or rather surviving in, a care desert. So this is northeast Dartmoor, beautiful and rugged, but in 2015 it was in market failure for social care, meaning there were no regulated providers that the local authority could commission to provide care at home in the area. Leading to some appalling situations, as you might expect. Because local authorities can only purchase regulated care, we knew we needed to set up a regulated home care agency for northeast Dartmoor, which became Nedcare, now a successful community business. But in the beginning, we knew that that was going to take a lot of time and a lot of money, and there was an immediate urgent need for care at home. So I looked around on the internet and I found such a thing as introduction agencies, which introduce people needing care to self-employed and directly employed care and support workers. And here's a few examples: Curum Care at the top there, and My Home Touch, which is the bottom panel. And these large commercial operators are typically owned by hedge funds and large corporations, where 12 to 20% of every care hour worked goes back to these platform owners. So I researched the regulations and guidelines behind introduction services, and within 6 weeks I launched a very much analog carer introduction service, which really took off. In fact, it did so well that a range of organisations got in touch to ask, can you do that over here? Or can you tell us how you did it so we can copy your approach? So the question then was, how do we support a range of organisations to replicate this approach in their own local areas? And so very briefly, this is the scale of the problem we're trying to solve: widespread market failure and insufficiency in adult social care, where 1 in 7 older people can't access the support they need. But these figures are pre-pandemic, and the situation continues to decline. So anyway, initially we wrote a toolkit, a step-by-step guide for non-profits in setting up and running your own carer introduction service. But whilst I was doing that, I looked back at the original inspiration and realised that we could build something similar in terms of an online platform, which we can then license out to those organisations setting up their own services. So in my mind, that was about democratising the tech, making it affordable and accessible to organisations to use and develop their own services without them needing to finance the development of their own platforms to do it. It's also about local wealth creation, supporting purpose-driven organisations to develop their own viable and profitable introduction services, where that profit is then reinvested into the local community and not sucked out into a hedge fund's portfolio. And to give them essentially a business in a box, the toolkit, but also the functionality that they need to run an effective service, the back-end database and matching functions, which is our rapid prototype, as well as the rostering, billing and payment functions to bring the platform up to full functionality, which is now happening through the integration of third-party software. Ideally, we wanted to do this on a white label basis, where each connector organisation's part of the platform looks like an extension of their own site. And we also wanted to make it better than the existing commercial platforms, so include the functionality that they do to support end users, but also to bring in a range of added value resources and functions, such as facilitating peer support across all user types, so care seekers, care workers, connecting organisations and local authorities themselves. So essentially developing communities of practice across user types and within and between geographical communities and communities of association. So for example, we have one work stream in development where we're working with a group of organisations led by Black, Asian and other minoritised community members. to develop approaches with them that are specifically addressing the lack of culturally appropriate care. Because although many areas and communities are underserved in social care, minoritized communities are significantly more so. So the Care Connect platform is about supporting grassroots organisations to build care and support relationships at a local level, and the tech is the enabler of that. I would say that Care Connect is not tech-led. The tech is a central and important element which supports the magic ingredients, and they are the development and sustenance of relationships and care support networks within communities. And it facilitates creation of financially viable infrastructure at a community level, which can support and sustain those relationships. So I want to get back to the processes that we went through to get here. In terms of developing the platform, we had 3 options. Pay a firm to build it for us from scratch, bring someone in-house to do it, or license an existing platform and retrofit it to meet our needs. The fastest and the cheapest route was to retrofit an existing platform, which we can then sub-license to our customers. With that option, we'd get a multidisciplinary team and hopefully a productive and trusting partnership into the long term. But how do we find that partner? I should just say IP ownership in this is a bit of a red herring with our platform, because the platform's essentially, Care Connect is an iteration of already existing tech. So the IP is questionable there. It's fair to say that our thoughts on the best way to go fluctuated as we went along, initially in line with whatever funding opportunity we were going for. But latterly, once we began talking with our developers and discussing our ideas with them, the strengths of option 3 just became more and more apparent. So introducing Made Open. Robert Wolf, the co-founder and owner of Made Open, is on this call. So please do chat with him if you want to know more about their platform. So Made Open helps organisations and partnerships to build bespoke community platforms. It already has a range of functions that you can get plugged in, if you like, according to licensee needs, such as directories, the ability to build teams and create campaigns. It also includes a range of, a real benefit for us is that Made Open platform is used by a lot of organisations, all achieving in different ways a wide range of social impact. And what's really good for us is that they are working in Wales, as we're soon to do. So translation and implementation across the border will be easy. And they're also increasingly working around the world, which we may want to do one day as well. And as a supplier to organisations like the NHS, Made Open have already gone through lots of the security testing and paperwork that local authorities like to see. So that's been really helpful. And by the way, that Launceston together along the bottom line, that's Launceston in Tasmania, not Launceston in Cornwall. So for me, this partnership really means that I've got a tech team. They're really calm and really patient with me, and I rely on them in getting me comfortable with the tech. I've got that ongoing support there. We've got a shared desire to succeed, mutual self-interest, if you like, but also a shared social vision, which is great. We've got shared values and aligned mission. And most importantly now, Care Connect has the potential soon to go rapidly to scale to address the depth and the spread of insufficiency in the social care market in the UK. So what does community tech mean for us? It's been created for reuse by others, and it's acting as infrastructure to support a broader community of practice. And actually Care Connect itself is becoming an infrastructure organisation for community-owned services, which is really refreshing. In the longer term, we're considering becoming a cooperative whereby our customers are our members. But we're already taking a collaborative and co-productive approach whereby if one customer, for example, is developing a resource to support their service, they agree to share that with all of our other customers to support efficiency and development of best practice in running introduction services. So we're capturing that learning within and between our customers, all of which will be on the platform. So just to finish off, where do we see it all going? What are our aspirations for it? Well, what's his saying? I can't remember it now. It's not the sky's the limit. Infinity and beyond, that's it. But seriously, ultimately, we want to have significant positive impact on the sorry state of care in the UK. And along the way, we want to secure change in the regulations around introductory agencies, from regs that are designed to protect the regulator, we feel, to ones that are designed to support improved quality and safety in the unregulated market, and better choice and control for the people who draw on social care in their daily lives. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Julia. That's really,